call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Back on our regular schedule, at least I think so, if I'm reading my star charts right, because time has no meaning out here in the ceaseless, hopeless, depressing void. But we'll get into all that shortly. Right now, I want to talk to you about our advertiser, brand new this week. We've never seen them before. It is Tiger Squawk Records. You want to check out brand new. The new Isserly. It's very metal, it's really cool. Landscape Body Machine Structure, legendary. Book of Brimstone from Science Fiction. He has just been on fire lately. The new Stellar from Duckbag TM. It's really crazy. Ludo's Lex doing like an industrial grind thing. Check it out. Sanity Checks. That's me and Planet Damage out of Budapest. Cthulhu jokes all over the place. New 3133 from Pill Brigade. Electro shit. Circles out of England, just knocking it out of the park all over the place. Ken from Suns and Shadows in the chat room. Science Fiction Remix in the Gothicals. Batavia out of Jacksonville covers C-Tech. It is glorious. Smoldering Embers of Aggression out of Victoria, BC. Otterbat Super Chat, the podcast I do with Ryan of Toronto. A new episode out now, all on Tiger Squawk Records. It is very apropos that our first chat room participant today is Ken of Sounds and Shadows, a co-shadowite of his will be on shortly, but not just her, because we're going to talk to the entire band here today in just a second. I am super, super happy to be able to talk to the guest we have today. So let's bring him on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Katy Needs a Life. What is going on, everybody?
Hello.
Hey. Sorry, I got so excited I had to swallow and screwed up the intro a bit. Please, we'll start banal. If you could just introduce yourselves and what your role in the band Katy Needs a Life is, please. That'd be wonderful.
Well, my name is Katy, and I am like the singer and main songwriter and synth player of Katy Needs a Life.
My name is David, and I play bass.
My name is Reggie, and I play guitar, and I do backups.
Awesome. I love it.
We have one other member named Jake who could not be with us today, who plays the drums and keeps us all together.
Okay. Well, this is great. We normally don't go past two band members here on Space Couch, so to have three of a four-piece is, I think, a first. All right. I don't know if you know Green 49285, but all right. The album Friends Like Bees will be coming out so shortly on January 29th. That's got to be cool. How do you feel about it? Tell us about the creation of this album.
So I am so excited. It's going to be dropping on my birthday this year on like Saturday, January 29th. This is the first full band studio album, and it features some songs that we've been rehashing over the years, but this is the version of them that I think is the like iteration and it's the iteration that I think is the most spot on to the original intention. I started the project in 2007, and it started as like a duo with a computer for drums and stuff, and it's evolved over the years. And once these songs are out, they won't be changed ever again. But I think that they've finally gotten to the point that we're like most stoked about. Okay. And it was like so awesome to work in a studio. We were working with Colin Skipper, and he was so great about like hearing what I wanted it to be and then making it just that way. So it really is exactly the first thing that I want it to be.
So not only has this album been in the clip for a bit, the songs therein have sort of Pokemon evolved over time to reach their final form on this album. It sounds like.
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I don't. Do you guys know what like? It's not Charizard or Charmander. What's like the big dragon?
Katy Needs a Life. We'll call it that. The
Oh.
final form of the most powerful dragon. Brooke, Dion, and Samantha are all very happy to see you in the chat room. What's up, guys? Ken says Reggie is also Kid Saint Nothing. Definitely got to get into that. So once this drops on Jan 29, where should people go to get it?
So it's going to be available to stream on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And then if you want to support us directly, we're going to be posting it to our Bandcamp, and that's katyneedsalife.bandcamp.com.
Let's take a listen to one of the tracks. This will be just a little excerpt of That 70s Show. If I can get my magic. Okay, sweet. No, I just got excited there because like this controls all the life support systems on the spaceship and shit. So like I didn't want oxygen to start venting while I accidentally switched to the video. Okay, here we go.
No one could rock a rainbow shirt and mustache quite like you. You did the grapevine on the rink. You did a line right off the sink. You should have realized we're not immortalized. You're gonna miss all the good.
So there is a song on the album called Couch, but that was like too sad. And so then we just heard a clip of that 70s show, which I was yakking about while you guys were listening to the song. I was yakking with a band about how I clicked on it initially because I was confused as I burp into the mic. I thought you might have like just covered the theme or something, but no, it's a whole narrative that you just borrowed the name of the show from or something. Where'd that come from?
Well, I mean, whenever I think of like a roller disco, I always think of like 70s and stuff, like
There's
going
that one
out.
episode.
And there is that one episode of that 70s show where Eric Foreman is like training to be part of. Is it Eric that's trying to be part of the roller disco, or is it Kelso?
Yeah, he starts doing roller disco.
But like there was inspiration from the show, and then I just felt like it was a whole story arc of somebody's life, and that 70s show kind of fit and had a like recognizable tone to it. But it doesn't exactly correspond with the show. It's just a fantasy about kind of what it's like to grow up and change and have that reminiscence of like what things used to be like and kind of be caught in that midlife crisis of like what happened type of thing.
Oh wow, that's because that's sort of like kind of what that show was about too. So you're naming it almost after the ethos of it. I love it, or at least that's my interpretation of it. You can make your own interpretation at after January 29th when you go to katyneedsalife.bandcamp.com to get with friends like Bees. Are you putting that out yourself or is that a label thing?
We're putting it out ourselves.
Dope.
Yeah, we're just putting it out ourselves. I didn't really reach out to any labels for any support.
Why would you? I mean, it's such a different planet, you know, even 10 years ago than it was. So, yeah, way to do it. Unless you're talking about Tiger Squawk Records, our sponsor for this episode. Not without some music videos already. Let's take a look at a little bit of metaphor, and then we'll do a little bit of should you talk about God a lot. Let's just break into those.
Things could go just like this, or we could dismiss it. Together we could find some light, help each other through the darkest of the night. The
one off there. Brooke says, I wish I could tap the screen to add all the likes.
Oh, thanks, Brooke.
Thanks, Brooke. And Ken says jams times two. That's how we do. Um, the uh, the metaphor video shoot that we saw at the start there looked cold. Was it, or are you guys just used to it being hardy Midwesterners?
I would love to say that we're like such great actors that we could like it was cold, but it was freezing that day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like mid-November in 2020 when we decided that we were going to go out and do it, and
It was weird because all the leaves were still green. Like if you look in the video, there was still stuff.
yeah, like it had just gotten cold, and we had kind of planned like 2 weeks in advance to do it, no matter
Mhm.
what.
Oh,
So
okay. Like today's the day, and then oh god. All right. Sick, sick. Do you storyboard out videos beforehand, or is it like you kind of piece it together later?
okay, so let me preface this by saying that storyboarding is incredibly important to the filmmaking process. It makes it very cohesive and makes editing a lot easier. No, we don't storyboard. In the future, we do have a lot more thought going into our videos and stuff. Like if we were going to make a video for the track I'm Going Down, or even if we were going to make one for that 70s show,
Mhm.
we would definitely want there to be a lot more cohesive of a storyline. But I think that especially for the Metaphor music video, it was, kind of a weird time to ask people to come together and help
Right.
with this thing. So it was very much like an 8th grader making a music video for a
Okay.
class, something where it's like, let's just go into the woods with some cameras and make it happen.
Well, you certainly did. It's a cool video, and the song is really wonderful. I've been just thinking about the hook quite a bit about the eponymous metaphor. Extremely well written. The next video, you sure do talk about God a lot. Contains a lot of what looks like wonderful footage from a 2019 tour. What so that'll sort of leads me into asking about like what your live show gestalt or sort of what's it like, or and what somebody might expect from a Katy Needs a Life live show.
Oh boy, it's sad. I
Okay.
think we come in with a lot of energy and we try really hard to,
I think like most shows, somebody cries.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
yeah, I
that's-
mean, when it slows down just a little bit and you get into the
It's
heart of
just
couch and
couch,
stuff.
yeah,
it's
couch
really
music is
just
so
couch,
sad.
Yeah, I don't know if this made it onto the feed, but there's a song called "Couch" on the album that I was like, "Oh, okay, sick, perfect, that'll be great." And it's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to like have people just bummed out for the rest of the episode. But it's a great song. You should pick it up. But is that sort of how you were landed on the term sad pop to describe your music? Because it's pretty energetic, and yeah, Jesus, and then you're into it, and then some cripplingly sad lyrics come out. It's this interesting mix.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come up with the term sad pop. When David was in a band called Brown Cow, the singer Mallory Cobb put that out to describe their sound, and it was such a good genre tag because I felt like it really did encompass what was going on with our music. Because pop music can be songs like I'm So Happy or I've Got a Feeling, and it can make you feel really good, and you walk away with this like type of thing in your head. And our music can have that energy behind it, and it can have that drive, but it's also probably going to make you feel a little bit sad.
Right. Well, I mean, you're certainly capturing that feeling pretty amazingly well. What is up to Roy, my buddy Roy, on Twitch? What's going on, dude? Friend of the show, episode 102 or something like that. The Going back to that tour footage, how was that 29? It feels like it was 1,000,000,000 years ago emotionally, but how was that 2019 tour for you?
Oh man, that was an adventure.
Looks fun
We
from the video.
we played this show in New York City, and it was a lot of fun. And a couple of our friends from out here that live out there now came to it. But when we were, I bought some kimchi
Okay.
at one point, and I didn't eat it all. So I was like, I'll save this for later because it'll hold.
Sure.
There was like one point it was like the next day or something in the van, and I just opened it for like a split second. That was a bad call. That was a
Okay.
really bad call.
I feel really bad about it because one of the road snacks that we brought were like little bags of beef jerky, and so
that
every
smells
time
like
that you crack
farts.
one of those open, yeah.
I was like, farted.
I don't know. That was like such a fun tour. It was
Cool.
it's always fun to get out of town for a little bit.
Speaking of couch, the
Wait, no, I'm going down, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So okay, we played at this place in New Jersey. I forgot what was it
No,
called.
the house thing that happened in that apartment.
Yeah, we played
remember?
somebody's, like,
that was a different deal.
birthday
Oh
party.
no! Oh
Okay.
my gosh! Lots of stories. Okay, so
Love it. Oh, that's a.
all right. We played a kid's birthday party on the tour.
Hell yeah.
The date got changed sort of at the last minute. We were trying to find a replacement, so it was like there's a birthday party that's looking for someone. So
Yeah, so we went and
awesome.
did that, and it wasn't like he wasn't like a little kid or
Yeah.
anything. He was like turning 25 or something,
Okay.
and it was a really fun show. We showed up, and they were all playing Magic the Gathering, and it's
Hell
like
yeah.
here we are with our people, and it was just me and Reggie playing like a pared down version of our sex.
it's like
They were
a
just
tiny apartment. Yeah.
yeah. So we they had like a TV that was going to be right behind the performers,
Okay.
and
Put
we
on Planet Earth. Or
yeah,
like
I was
Blue
like Planet
Planet
Earth is
or
like so pretty
something.
that would go so well with
I think it
it.
was Blue Planet.
Whichever one had the scene with the walruses jumping off the
Oh
cliff.
my God! Yeah.
During the part of Couch where I'm saying I held you in my arms and kept you from hitting the ground, things were falling off the cliffs.
No! Oh my God! Oh yeah.
The
The
whole time, Katie and I are like
Yeah,
we're
unaware of
facing
what's
the
happening
audience.
behind us.
And
The-
I'm thinking like, wow, like we're doing really good.
the David Attenborough thing. Yeah. No, I watched that with my wife, and we're like, oh, that's heavy because we love David Attenborough, and you put it on, and he's like the hummingbird, and you just kind of drift off to sleep, and then he's like the deforestation of man is killing these walruses, and you're just watching these walruses plummet horrifically to their death while you're playing a song about falling and all that. That's amazing.
I mean, that was a fun show. I mean, we played another show in New Jersey where after we were done with our set, the owner, who was like this older guy, he was like singing I'm Going Down back to me with like a really thick New Jersey accent, and it was like he was like moved by it, and he offered us like free food and stuff,
Nice,
and was
nice.
telling us where all of the local like hot spots were and stuff, but like everything was about where The Sopranos was shot. And so that was like so amazing. Like when we were like driving through town to get to where we were going to sleep that night, it's like, oh, that's where that one scene at
Nice.
the butcher shop. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
it was eventful. It was only a few days, but we really made
Okay.
I thought
the
it was
best.
like 2 weeks or something.
It was like 10 days.
Yeah.
But that's like a few days in comparison to like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's longer than I would do now. Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, do you have plans to try to play some shows in the Coronaverse after Bees comes out?
so
hopefully when things calm, like when the numbers go way down and
Right.
it's safe to do so, then yeah.
like we had initially planned to do a show on the 29th to pair up with the album release and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but the numbers here have been getting very, very high with
really?
COVID stuff, and it didn't seem like the most necessary time to have the show. So we're going to postpone that until later this year, and we do tentatively have some plans for shows in like March and April and stuff, and so we'll be announcing those, but we're waiting to really put too much out there until we know for sure that they're going to happen.
I'm in the same boat. I'm looking at buying some flights for the Chicago and Madison, Wisconsin, actually. But it's like,
Ooh.
do I want to pull the trigger on this because they might get canceled?
Yeah.
I know. It's
Cool.
tough to plan, but we
really
do
hard.
definitely plan on doing live shows, and when we do, it'll have a new type of energy to it that, because it's just, we've been like
Oh, that's a good
practicing.
call. Yeah. That's been hyped up. Man, it's gonna be double barrel sadness when Katy Needs a Life comes back onto the live scene. But if you are just joining us now, you can of course catch up with their long-awaited full length with Friends Like Bees out Jan 29, wherever you get albums and stuff. Um, Partially electronic, which is sort of like what we're interested in here, partially on Space Couch. Um, did you use, is it mostly like hand playing all the synths and stuff, or did you program that out in like a Cubase type setting?
Well,
You recorded them, like
yeah.
MIDI. Well, you played them MIDI, and
Yeah, I'm not the best programmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually will like play all the parts out and stuff. But it's not to say that there weren't synth like there wasn't like synth software that
Mhm.
was added in to fill it out that didn't have like
Okay.
arpeggiators and stuff built into it. But for like Charlie Brown
Mhm.
and stuff, I like play that whole part out and stuff. So I'm like on stage very stiff when I'm
Mhm.
doing that, but
I think your synth is also on everything too. I think we MIDI tracked and took the line out from the synth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke says, "What about trying to do a show on Decentraland? I don't know how to get into it, but I've seen artists play there. Uh, we'll check that out. I don't know what that is, Brooke."
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that.
And Ken says, "Double Barrel Sadness is a good album name." All right, you can have that. Well, we look forward to that. Now, I'm a sucker for synthesis on anything, so I wanted to at least ask. Um, if we were to design Katy Needs a Life, the breakfast cereal, what might that look like? Are there little like Cheerio life preservers? Does the box look sturdy and is actually falling apart? Like, what is the Kano breakfast offering look like?
Okay, so we talked about this a little bit,
Oh.
and we had a lot of great ideas. Like
Okay.
Reggie thought maybe like Captain Crunch, but with like marshmallows or something. But I don't think that I quite got it. So I was thinking it would be like a very, very sugary kind of like Wheaties type of cereal.
Okay.
But
Okay.
inside of it, there would be like really dry ground up cereal. But into it, it would make your mouth really dry, and it would be enjoyable, right? But it would
Right.
make you sad.
Awesomely done. Well done. I love it. I love it.
Like no
Yeah.
matter how much milk you tried to drink, your mouth would still be very dry,
Right.
but sugary.
And you're like, wow, that there was a vector for something, and that really like kind of hollowed me out. But I want to go back and do it again because that was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to have it for breakfast again the next morning. Like and that is Katy Needs a Life now with Marshmallow Bees. And Dan Milligan says, "Love these questions." Thanks, Dan.
Hey, Dan. We love you.
The Suns and Shadows own Ken sort of touched on this, but you guys are crazy busy even outside of having a new album right around the corner. David, I understand you run something called the DIT sessions. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I started that back in like 2012. It was there were a lot of bands that were playing Kalamazoo that I feel didn't have like really good bands that didn't have much of an online presence or like weren't able to do recordings or have like live showings. So I started at first just bringing them into my apartment and having them play a few songs, and then we'd film it and we'd record it and then put it out there. And we did ones with like Speedy Ortiz and Radiator Hospital and a lot
Okay.
of cool bands. Yeah.
So it's like if I'm just starting out, like, who are your clientele? Like people just kind of putting their first band together, or who need
Anybody.
a video? Okay.
Yeah, the whole it's free. It's all not for
Oh
profit.
wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it's anybody that wants to do one. Yeah.
Where do people check out the DIT sessions?
Our channel is on YouTube, DIT Sessions.
All right, everybody, check out the DIT sessions, free offerings created for free. That's awesome. And uh, we have Kids Saint Nothing in the room. Tell us about that project and how that's going for you.
Yeah, I kind of started it a few years back. I got like a better computer, so I've been messing around with like more electronic kind of stuff, and it's kind of just evolved from like it's evolved from like dark, like being more of a dark wave thing to like
Mhm.
industrial metal. And I just put out an EP a couple months ago that is kind of like has like hints of new metal and like industrial metal and like
Okay.
hip hop and
Oh, a lot of
hardcore punk.
range.
Yeah,
I
like
listen to way too much.
the Play Gear was like just straight metal.
Yeah, I wrote Plague Year, or well, yeah, I wrote Plague Year like right when quarantine was happening back in 2020,
Mm.
and it was like when I initially wrote it, it was more of like a black metal song.
Okay.
And then I kind of was like, how can I make this different? And now it's like more of a hardcore punk song.
Well, that's a lot of range, man. I mean, like when you're playing in a sad pop band, you have like the sudden impulse to like just accidentally bust out corpse paint and start singing about altars and shit.
Why
Yeah.
not?
All right, sweet. All right. Look for that track on the Bees follow up coming out. That's awesome. Well, we will look forward to. Well, it sounds like you just put something out. Where do we get to that the latest of Kids Say
It's
Nothing?
Kids Say Nothing is it's on Bandcamp.
Cool.
It's also up on all the streaming services
And
like and all that.
Ken said the weird part is all of Reggie's styles actually work.
Yeah, it sounds a lot weirder than it actually is.
Well,
Yeah,
it sounds great.
There's like a wide range of stuff going on, but Reggie's always been very good at like encapsulating emotion instrumentally. So
Awesome.
it sounds like a lot going into it all at once, but it comes out in a very, very pleasing fashion. So
Awesome.
like
Well, I mean,
about the work.
hell yeah.
Thank you.
And Katie, of course, you came into my world line by way of Sounds and Shadows. So could you tell us how you got involved in that and what your role therein is?
Well, I would love to. Sounds and Shadows is like the funnest place.
It
On the
is.
stuff. And it's like such an honor to be a part of it. I think it was in October of 2019. Ken asked me if I wanted to do some writing for the blog. And then around December of that same year, he asked if I wanted to be on the podcast. And when the pandemic started and we all had to kind of go home and stuff, I asked him if it was something that he wanted to turn into like a video stream so that we could still keep it going while we had all of the interest and stuff. And then from there, we have the Sounds and Shadows YouTube channel, and I've been managing that for like the entire duration. And it is like pure joy in my life to be able to work on such a fun project.
So what sort of things do you do for the Sounds and Shadows YouTube? What can we expect, or the listener or viewer, what can they expect from that channel?
So we do interviews we do interviews with bands, influencers, wrestlers alike.
Nice.
We try to keep it a pretty diverse conversation pool. And if you're going to our YouTube channel, you'll see the interviews. My whole thing is capturing them and editing them and making sure that they're posted and ready to go for the artists. And it usually takes about 2 weeks to turn over. It's once again like something that we offer as a courtesy type of thing. There's no cost to it. Just hit us up and we'll try to set it up if we are able to in a timely manner for you. But yeah, I mean, we've had the pleasure of speaking with artists that are just starting, artists like yourself that have been doing your thing for a really long time, and we're just so geeked to finally talk to you in person. And like all of it is just to build the community and make it into a stronger place and like help the artists that aren't necessarily getting the recognition get that recognition and get that platform so that they can start getting the popularity that they deserve so much.
Oh yeah, and I will say I know I brought this up a bit when you had me on your show and when Ken was on here that Sounds and Shadows is so delightfully positive. Like I'll admit, like when I was first invited to on the Facebook group or so, I was like, oh my god, another industrial forum. This is gonna turn into a shit show in about 6 minutes because people are gonna start. Because it always does. It always does in the 1,000 years I've been alive. And Sounds and Shadows is for great. It's like it's generally really positive. So I can't say enough about that site and your involvement with it. I also want to get into this. Reggie and Katie, I understand you are both fellow comic book people. I'm interested as to what your favorites might be or what you're reading right now.
Do you want to start? Yeah.
For me, my favorites are probably a big one is Swamp Thing.
Dope.
Fucking love Swamp
Hell
Thing.
Yeah.
A big fan of Spider-Man and
Awesome.
like oddly enough, Aquaman.
Hell yes.
Aquaman does not get nearly enough credit.
You are on the right sector of space on the exact couch, sir.
Sick.
I think that my favorite comics, like Descender, is one that I've been revisiting, and then like Ascender, the follow-up series to it.
I don't know.
It might be something that would interest you. It has to do with robots in space and stuff.
I like robots in space and stuff.
Oh god, yeah, it's so worth it. It's written really well, and the animations or the illustrations are amazing. I'm also a huge fan of the Hack Slash series.
Okay.
And I was into Sweet Tooth before it was a Netflix series. So I've always really liked that one as well. I think that the only other one that I would really want to make mention of is nope, that's pretty much it. I absolutely love comics, and I go to the local comic book store fanfare to pick up whatever is new on the shelves from the indie scene. So I'll find something that's amazing, but then I'll only really keep up with it for a few issues. But those ones are the ones that I've been able to stay on top of.
Very cool. Yeah. Dion says Swamp Thing is dope. Aquaman rap filming today too. Oh, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my! Like as a fanboy, I was like shocked at the amount of like canon they put into that Jason Momoa Aquaman movie. Like you did Topo? Oh my god! Like, you did the Dead King and like everything, and now of course he's got the blue suit, which I never liked, but looks dope on Jason Momoa. I mean, a fog hat shirt would look dope on Jason Momoa, but like it looks like it's like they made one of the like I'm hard DC, even though I love me some Moon Knight. That's coming up too. I'm sorry, I could talk about comic books all day. I've been married for about a year, and I'm in that wonderful phase where I have my wife's comic book catalog to like go through. So I'm just getting into all of her stuff and reading The Sixth Gun right now, which is pretty cool. So speaking of comics, if you were to say 3 to 5 or however many you want of your musical influences were members of the Justice League, who would be which member and why? Like the example I gave was like maybe you might say the Faint is Plastic Man because they have a lot of range.
Oh man, I do love the Faint.
There you go. I hear some Faint in your music, if that's a fair comparison to make.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that like
it's basically like a slick way of in my mind, a slick way of me asking you who your musical influences are, and then getting to talk about Justice League at the same time.
That's a very clever way of putting it. I mean, okay, so for example, I feel very into the band Slater-Kinney, always have been, always will be. And I don't want to be cliche when I put them down as like Wonder Woman, but they're like so strong and they're so pure and they can like put things out there in a way Yeah, I mean, they don't have necessarily the lasso of truth, but they are.
But there's a ring of truth in the music. There's an honesty there. So I think that's extremely apt. Well done.
Thank you.
I feel like Joy Division and New Order, probably Batman.
There you go.
And I don't
Batman
know
and Robin.
I don't know who Slow Dive would be, but they're a big influence on me. I use that Yamaha.
Well,
FX
slow
500.
dive. They got to be Aquaman, right? Just slowly diving
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
water.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Ministry would be Cyborg.
Yes. Yes. Good call. And like somebody's trying to repair like a broken conduit, and he's like, "I just need one fix," and then Cyborg's like, "I got."
Yeah.
Hell yeah! I have. I hear a lot of Dead Milkmen in your sound, like sort of like a Methodist coloring book kind of energy, but with this sort of chord out center to it. If I may be so bold, I might put them at a Dead Man. Obvious, I know, but they are able to sort of jump genres like he is bodies. So we'll we'll throw that one out there. And his first name is Boston, so like I had Dead Man shit all over here. In the flying space couch, do after the upcoming release of, pardon me burping into the mic, with friends like bees, out January 29th, do you have sort of a next phase planned? Like in the MCU of Katy Needs a Life, is phase 4 coming up?
Yeah, so we were going to record another 12 songs.
12, wow.
Yeah, and then do a 2-song release every other month, and then at the end of the year compile them onto a physical release that we'll put out as like tapes or CDs or whatever.
Kick ass.
Yeah, kind of old school present approach, but yeah.
Dan Milligan says, "Am I the only one who would love to see a movie about a character named Slow Dive?" No, I'd be into it, man. Let's.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a good one.
Well, Slow Dive has to do the soundtrack, if not star in it. But it's this.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh,
It would be like this. What's that?
Did you see that the Foo Fighters are making a movie?
Wait, what?
They made a horror movie.
It
like
looks
a
so
big horror
funny.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's out.
Why. It's out.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, wait.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
I don't think it's out yet, but
Okay.
soon, very soon.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer for it, and yeah.
And
at
first
it's
I was
starring
like,
all of them.
I was like, the Foo Fighters are making a movie. Piss Shaw. And then by the end of the 2-minute ad, I was like, I need to go to one of these select
Hell yeah.
theaters and
Dave
see
Grohl
this.
is a better actor than I anticipated.
Yeah.
He was
I
fucking
haven't heard of that.
hilarious in Bill and Ted 3. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for that, but I
No,
just
we can.
reminded me.
We got all the time in the world. Is that Dan Milligan from the Joy Thieves? But
Yeah, I
oh,
think so.
okay,
Hi,
sick.
hi,
All
Dan.
right, hi.
Dan.
I love your music. That's the fun of live long form interviews. You never know who's going to show up. Oh yeah, okay. So the Slow Dive, the Aquaman like indie movie, like it's this really slow burn of it's black and white, and he's just like walking around Amherst, Michigan, just like cold and thinking about his life. Like he's got this estranged daughter that he's trying to figure out her relationship. All the indie movie tropes and stuff. That Slow Dive coming soon from DC Comics and Tiger Squawk Digital. So I talked over what sounds like a very exciting, if not ambitious, release plan for you. You're going to record everything and then release the 2 songs a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it might be a little while before we start to do the releases, but that's the game plan. We have a couple of things that we already have pretty much nailed down that we're just going to get recorded, and then that is the plan.
Okay.
If we feel like it might exploit the algorithms and stuff in a beneficial way. So
Is that all through? Is that like a Patreon thing, or are you doing that through Bandcamp?
No, it'll just be on all the platforms.
Awesome.
Spotify and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we will check that out. You don't need to sign up for anything, but you'll want to make monthly trips to the Katy Needs a Life Bandcamp or iTunes if you're weird, because Bandcamp's better than that. But that's just my opinion. iTunes has been very good to us. Um, is there anything about we'll get a little woo woo towards the end here. Is there anything about Katie Needs a Life that people tend not to understand or that they wish you would like that would be people would get? Or do you think your relationship with your audience is pretty straightforward?
I mean, I don't I don't really feel like I guess that it's one of those things where our audience is amazing. We
Mm-hmm.
love our fans and they've been so loyal to us for a long time. But I think that they're on the same train that we are, and a lot of the songs are written in a way that's kind of ambiguous so that it
Mm-hmm.
can appeal to people when they're going through stuff and just feel like there's someone that's there that gets it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that I ever was looking for with it,
Okay.
was just to be able to share my little diary entries every day and feel like I was talking to people. If there was one thing that I would really want people to know, though,
Mm-hmm.
it's like couch is just about a couch.
Hmm.
It's
I
more
love
than a
it.
couch. It's a very special couch.
It was a
That's
special couch, but yeah, it's just about a couch.
that's your band sticker right there. His couch is just about a couch. But
Yeah.
very cool. Well, I mean, I think mission accomplished. Like for something like you sure to talk about God a lot. Like I, I've never met obviously the person or persons about whom the song was written, but I feel like I know them. You know, like this guy or whoever every afternoon gets into like this philosophical debate, makes the conversation go that way. Like, dude, we were just talking about McDonald's hamburgers a second ago. Why are we talking about like that guy? Like, I know that's the way I interpret it. Um, and even if that's wrong, I think that I'm glad you said that you left it open to interpretation enough that like I've now attached enough of my own shit to your sort of kernel of meaning, which is I think a really um, uh, uh, noble maybe goal for songwriting. It's just really cool. Um,
Gee,
with
thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's just it's like for you sure to talk about God a lot. I think that that's probably a really well put meaning behind it, because it is, about like a specific person, but it's
Mhm,
written in a way that you do know that person. You've
mhm.
encountered them. That's like your annoying uncle or your best friend's best friend or something, and it's like or it could be somebody that you're like romantically involved with and stuff, where you're like praying for change and stuff,
Uh-huh.
but it's just complicated,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Because it felt like there's a kernel of a relationship in that song. Don't let me put words in your mouth, but like, there's a lot to take out of that, and even just the visual metaphor, pardon the pun of metaphor, of just I'm being followed by this black thing, and it's like kind of goofy, but it's kind of weird at the same time, and I'm not sure how to deal with this entity that dances the same dances that I do. But it's clearly malevolent after a fashion, but I'm okay with it. I don't know. It's like I think you, and now I've got my head up my own ass, but I think you really nailed a lot with the metaphor video, which you can find. I'm now talking to you at home there on Terra Firma. We have videos for. You should talk a lot about God, metaphor, a number of releases, if and not music videos, out right now as we talk, or in the past as we talk if you're watching this from future, because time gets weird out here in space, the curvature of time space and gravitational black holes, and it costs billions of dollars for even us to talk right now, and I'll send you the bill after we're done.
It's
um,
okay. It's a little while to get here. It might come to my great, 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 great grand.
right.
Yeah, you're pretty far in deep space.
I'm probably dead as we're talking, and my progeny or space dog or whoever is just yeah, that's shit. I'll have to write that one down because, like, we were talking before the show, like I haven't figured out the mythos of it, but like, I'm actually dead, and you're talking to my ghosts, and the ship's being run by my dog's future puppies, something like that.
They
Great.
advanced over time. Now they can man the ship.
Yeah.
Genius. Yes. It is that kind of world building you will get on With Friends Like Bees, out January 29th from Katy Needs a Life. I am all right. Let's just uh, let's really address the elephant in the room. Do you think we can ever get a second season of that Swamp Thing show? Because that was dope. I thought.
I actually have yet to watch it.
Okay.
You watch it, David?
I watched.
I see
some
when it
of
comes,
it.
like I still
Yeah.
haven't watched the whole Venom movies
Mm-hmm.
either. With like, I don't know. With something I love that much, I don't want to.
No,
I don't wanna
I totally feel you on it. Dude, like,
But like, I feel like I need to watch it though.
like there was a trailer out, um, like second maybe only to Moon Knight for me in terms of like deep fandom, is Willow, the a baby, the.
Yeah.
And there's a show coming out, and everyone's sending me the trailer, and I'm like, I just, for some reason, I can't. It's too big in my life. Like, I can't bring myself to click this trailer, like, to wrap my head around. So if you're anything along that factor, I certainly understand it. Normally, I take homework from the guest to listen to or pick up something, but I would love to know what Kids Say Nothing thinks of the Swamp Thing show. So if you have the bandwidth, sir, please let us know.
Yeah.
Ken says he liked it. And
Yeah, I feel like it all stems from watching, I had this nightmare when I was on tour years ago about, they made a movie about Maximum Carnage, and it was bad, and I just remember
Oh.
being angry, and like, it's hard.
I will say, no, the because it can go that way. Like, I was like, I don't know, let's just do this Venom thing, and I loved it. It's so crazy. And then my wife and I just watched the Carnage one, and we're just, it's on the Mount Rushmore of like Troll 2 level bad, but I can watch it. But
I agree.
put it on at any time because I'll watch it any day of the week. It's great, but it's definitely got like the room kind of.
cheeseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the type of thing where it's like super, super fun to watch. It's very entertaining. It doesn't drain you the same way that other superhero movies
Mhm.
can, where it's just like nonstop action for 3 hours.
Just
But
kinda shut
it
off.
is like a charcuterie board. It is so cheesy.
Well, because they step into the, it's ripe for comedy. Like it's this big '90s edgelord villain that lives in some dude's body, so of course they would just talk back and forth. Like it's the best. We are on a rogue flight path out here in space, and I'm going to bring this flying couch back on into the station shortly. Anything you want to toss out to our viewers before we wrap this delightful episode of Space Couch?
Okay, I'll start, and then y'all can say something and stuff too. I would really like to take a second and just thank all of you that are watching right now and everyone who gives our album a chance. It was an honor working with Colin Skipper and having Jason Corbett have like these influences on this album in both mixing and mastering. And I'm just so excited for it to finally be out there so that we can start showing off some of our new stuff that I've been holding out on almost 2 years. to put
Oh
out.
yeah.
What do you guys?
Oh.
Anything to add?
No, just you said it pretty well. Hype
Oh,
about
yeah.
the yeah.
Long time in the barrel. Check it out, everybody. This is Brian for Space Couch, for Katie, David, and Reggie for Katy Needs a Life, saying, call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out. Oh, I forgot to say that I'm going to switch it to the credits in a second, and I think I screwed up the scene, so you won't be able to hear my voice over our Space Connection Skype. while we go to the credits. But all right, Space Scotch out credits.
I can hear your voice.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, okay. I'm just rocking out to my own song.
That's so fun, Brian.
Oh, awesome! Thanks. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'll just keep it live over the credits here. These are our wonderful Patreon founders.
It was a little bit hard to hear you that time.
Yeah. Well, I'll clean it up in just a second. And yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. The patreon.com/gossicles to get in those credits, and we'll just